Yo, what's up? Dr. Swole here, MD, pro natural physique athlete, back with another video. Today I'm going to be giving you a full science-based hypertrophy program based on the push-pull legs upper-lower split. This is a popular 5-day split that combines push-pull legs and upper-lower. I put together a 5-day high-volume program best designed for intermediate to advanced athletes with the goal of muscle growth. As you might know, in push-pull legs, you divide your body up into push, pull, and leg days, where on push days you train muscles involved in pushing movements like your triceps, delts, and chest. And on pull days, you train muscles involved in pulling movements like your back and your biceps. And on leg days, you train your quads, hamstrings, and calves. In the upper-lower split, you divide your body up into two main days, your upper body and your lower body. The upper-lower split typically works well for 4 or 6 day programs, and push-pull legs works best in a 6-day format. Typically, you want to try to hit each muscle group at least twice per week. For people who want to train 5 days per week, however, this can be a bit of a dilemma, and push-pull legs upper-lower can fit well into this setup. Plus, it has the opportunity to combine some of the advantages of both of these programming strategies, as well as neutralize some of their weaknesses. Quick outline for today, I'm going to be giving you a full push-pull legs upper-lower program designed for hypertrophy for intermediate to advanced athletes. We'll start off with a program walkthrough where I share everything you'll need to know to run the program yourself, including exercises, sets, and reps. Then we'll talk about the weekly setup, that is how to spread your days out across the week. Finally, we'll go over the pros and cons of the push-pull legs upper-lower split, and I'll go over my reasoning behind the modifications I made to the traditional split. As you guys know, I love to make modifications to the traditional setup of these common splits to make them better. For more free science-based hypertrophy programs like this one, make sure you like the video, subscribe, and let's get into it. Alright, let's do a program walkthrough. So this is Dr. Swole's push-pull legs upper-lower program. It's set for high volumes, that is best designed for an intermediate to advanced athlete. We have pull day, push day, lower body day 1, upper body day, and lower body day 2. Here are the exercises, and there are the sets and reps. Here we have the total number of sets for each workout, so you can get an idea of workout length. And here you have the total number of weekly sets for each muscle group. And you'll see that this program pushes higher volumes. Starting with our pull day, we start with the T-bar row, 4 sets of 6 to 10 for the back. Then we have cable rows, also for the back, 3 sets of 10 to 15. Finally, we have dumbbell pullovers, which I'm counting for the lats here, 3 sets of 12 to 20. After that, we have cable upright rows for the side delts, 4 sets of 8 to 12. Side lying lateral raises, 4 sets of 8 to 12 for the side delts. And for these, I like to set the bench at a 60-degree angle. This allows you to put a bit more stress on your side delts in their more stretched position at the bottom of the movement. We finish off with leg press calf raises, 5 sets of 8 to 12. Going on to push day, we start off with machine bench press for the chest, 4 sets of 6 to 10. Then we have machine overhead press, 3 sets of 6 to 10. After that, floor presses, which I'm counting for the biceps and triceps here, 4 sets of 8 to 12. Then we go into machine preacher curls for the biceps, 4 sets of 8 to 12. Rope press downs for the triceps, 4 sets of 10 to 15. And you can superset those with rope hammer curls for the biceps, 4 sets of 10 to 15. Then we go into lower body day 1. We start off with the squat for the quads, 5 sets of 5 to 8. Then we go into barbell good mornings, which I count for glutes and hamstrings, 3 sets of 6 to 10. After that, leg presses for the quads, 5 sets of 8 to 12. Leg curls for the hamstrings, 3 sets of 10 to 15. Then we have cable lateral raises for the side delts, 3 sets of 10 to 15. And finally, more side lying lateral raises, 3 sets of 12 to 20. Let's unpack this here. So I made a few modifications to the standard push-pull legs upper-lower split here. First of all, you'll see that I've switched push and pull days, starting off with pull day, which we'll explain later. Then you'll notice that I've moved around our small group muscle training. So I've moved our bicep training from pull day onto push day. And this allows you to train your biceps when they're fresh, not fatigued after pulling movements. Then I've taken my side delt work from push days and spread it out over pull and leg days. I've also moved calf training from lower body day onto pull day earlier in the week. This allows me to even out the length of the days and lets me spread out more volume of side delt training across the week. A lot of people have weak side delts, so they benefit from more training, and the side delts often do well with high frequencies. Going on to upper body day, we start with dumbbell bench press for the chest, 4 sets of 5 to 8. This is our main heavy chest movement for the week. Then we have neutral grip lat pull downs for the back, 5 sets of 6 to 10. Incline cable flies for the upper chest, 3 sets of 10 to 15. And you basically want to fly slightly upwards to target your clavicular heads. Then we have chest supported rows for the back, 3 sets of 8 to 12, followed by overhead cable extensions for the triceps, 4 sets of 8 to 12. And you'll see that with my tricep work, I typically like to have a more pressing type tricep oriented exercise like floor presses or close grip bench press, and then a movement that puts my elbow over my head like skull crushers or overhead cable extensions. This really targets the long head of the triceps. Then we have machine calf raises, 5 sets of 10 to 15. You'll notice here that there is quite a bit of machine work in this program. This ties into how I've set this program up more for an advanced athlete. As an advanced athlete, you start to run into fatigue issues if you try to run a high volume program that's all heavy barbell compound work, especially if you're strong enough to move a lot of weight in those movements. Going on to lower body day 2, we start off with the Romanian deadlift, 3 sets of 6 to 10, and in this program, RDLs serve as our main hip hinge movement of the week. At an advanced level, deadlifts aren't such a great return on investment because of their stimulus to fatigue ratio. They may provide a good stimulus, but also produce a lot of axial fatigue. RDLs can be a slightly less fatiguing variation that still targets your posterior chain really well. Then we have hack squats for the quads, 5 sets of 6 to 10. Bulgarian split squats, which I count for the glutes and hamstrings here, 3 sets of 8 to 12. These are followed by leg extensions for the quads, 3 sets of 10 to 15. Then we have lying bicep curls, 4 sets of 6 to 10. And wrap up with some cable lateral raises for the side delts, 4 sets of 10 to 15. Again, here you'll notice that we've moved our bicep training onto lower body day, moved calf training onto our upper body day to even out the day lengths, and moved side delts onto lower body day as well. Question of the day, what split are you currently using? Let me know in the comments below. All right, now that you've seen the program, let's go over our weekly setup. Here's my preferred layout. We go pull, push, lower 1, rest, upper and lower 2. Let me explain my reasoning for this setup. So in the name you have push, pull, legs, upper, lower, and you'll see that I've switched the push and pull days. The idea is that you typically want to spread out your pull days from your lower body days as much as possible, especially if you're using heavy compound movements. If you're doing heavier free weight row type work, this can generate quite a bit of axial fatigue. Axial fatigue is the fatigue that you generate when you load your spine, for example with deadlifts or squats. And heavy barbell type row movements can produce this as well. One thing I like about this split is even though you have an asymmetric setup, it does balance out a little bit. Your upper and lower body days are going to be tougher in this segment than your push-pull legs lower because this splits up your body over more days. But that's balanced out a little bit by the fact that you have a 3-day segment versus a 2-day segment. When possible, I prefer getting your upper body work done before your lower body work because if you're really fatigued after a lower body day, you may not perform as well on your upper body work subsequently. Let's talk about some of the pros and cons of this push-pull legs upper-lower split. First of all, it balances out the muscle group volumes across the week. As I alluded to at the beginning, upper, lower, and push-pull legs have some unique advantages and disadvantages. One of the things about the upper-lower split is that it tends to favor the lower body because your upper body days tend to be long because they're just more muscle groups to train. So if you're running upper-lower in a 1-to-1 format, you're actually giving more time to your legs than to your upper body relatively. In push-pull legs, you have 2 upper body days for every 1 lower body day, and this allows you to prioritize your upper body. With push-pull legs, however, your push and pull days are significantly easier than your tougher lower body days. Push-pull legs upper-lower can be a nice way to balance out these 2 splits. Next, this split is very simple and intuitive to set up. Until you get comfortable writing custom splits, it is nice to follow a basic structure. And push-pull legs upper-lower is convenient because there's no interference between days. As you saw in the setup that I use here, you can spread out your major pulling and leg training quite nicely across the week. Okay, now let's move on to talk about the pros of the push-pull legs upper-lower split. Some of these disadvantages have been addressed in the program that I'm showing you now. First of all, this split is asymmetric. That is, your split changes throughout the week. There are a couple of considerations that come out of this. First of all, your progress is not comparable across the week. For example, if you're following a linear progress type of plan, especially if you're repeating the same exercises across the week, which is okay, I didn't do that so much here, you may not be able to add a weight or reps as predictably across the week as you otherwise would in a more symmetric split. When you have an asymmetric split like this, your fatigue distribution is also not ideal. You typically want to spread out your training stress as uniformly across the week as possible. And you'll find in a program like this, for example, your lower body day is significantly tougher than your push day. Next, in push-pull legs upper lower, your arms and your side delts get fatigued by your earlier pushing and pulling compound movements. This is something that's inherent to both the push-pull legs and the upper lower setups. That is, heavy pressing and pulling type movements do use your triceps, biceps, and delts to a high degree. They can often be fatigued by these compound movements, and by the time you get to your direct arm training later in the workout, you may not perform as well. You'll see that I've tried to address this by splitting up some of our bicep and side delt volume and moving it around on other workouts. This way you'll be able to do some of your small muscle group training when those muscles are fresh. Finally, with push-pull legs upper lower, you'll find that you have short pull days and long upper body days. This is just because you have fewer muscles to train on your pull days and more muscles to train on an upper body day. And I have tried to address this by moving around some of our smaller muscle group training. If you want to download this full program, I will be sharing the program as an Excel file in my Facebook group. So if you haven't seen it already, find the link in the description below, join the group, and you can download the program for free. I did write this program custom for a client of mine. If you want to take your training to the next level and want a custom hypertrophy program written by me, follow me on Instagram. My handle is @DrSwole, that is Dr_SWOLE. DM me the word program and I'll let you know my rates. Have you heard about the Arnold upper lower split? This is a hybrid split that combines the Arnold split with upper lower and also fits into a 5-day setup. Check out this video where you'll see me explain the split and share a full hypertrophy program based on it. If you're getting value from my channel, make sure you subscribe and share the channel with your fitness friends so they can all level up their gains. See you next time.